How's it going, IEprep.com? Anthony Sequeira here, and we are going to tackle, as promised, the information, the elaboration, if you will, on the lab exam grading. We just can't know too much about all this stuff because I think the main reason is we won't fear the lab exam. The more you know about it, the less you will fear it, right? We kind of tend to fear the unknown. The more we make the unknown known, we'll be just fine. All right, so two things to talk about in this video. We want to talk about that passing score in more detail, like I promised you. And I promised you as well that we'd talk about how the proctors actually grade the exam. So we said we had the two modules. Design and deploy is what we will refer to them as for simplicity and brevity's sake. And as the dude would say, if you're into that whole brevity thing. So we've got the design and deploy. We have those min scores and those pass scores in each of those modules. Now, I made these numbers up. We will never know. We'll never know what these scores are. Cisco will always keep these hidden from us. So that's, kind of helping to protect the integrity of the exam. So we'll never know what these numbers actually are. I'm just making this up. And you could see what Cisco could easily do here. If they write a deploy topology for you, a deploy module, and they're all like, holy crap, was that hard? Well, obviously, they're going to give, the passing score and min cut score, they're going to give that consideration if they did something that was really hard. You're going to be permitted to miss more points than you otherwise might. So you can just see them playing with these numbers all the time. Anyways, in order to make sure you understand how this works, let's take a sample student. So this student 1 scores 65 points in the design module, and they score 82 points in the deploy module. Again, they won't know that's the point values that they achieved. They won't know it during the test. They won't know it after the test. They can estimate it in the deploy section because in the deploy section, we have the point values. So they can certainly estimate what they scored on the lab, but they'll never know for sure. All right, so they got 65 points in design, 82 points in deploy. Remember, there's two checks. And the first check that I'll talk about, it might not be the order I originally presented it, but who cares? The first check is, did they get above the min cut score in each module individually? So they did. Good job, student 1. You got above the min in design, you got above the min in deploy. But now, did they pass? Well, in addition to those two things needing to have taken place, they must have a cumulative score above the cumulative pass score. So their 65 and 82 is added together, and that's 147, and that doesn't get it done. Because notice 80 plus 75 is 155. So they scored below that cumulative pass score, and they did not pass. And this brings up a really painful score report that this student's going to get from Cisco. Remember, if you don't pass, they'll give you breakdowns on how well you did by technology domain. Well, they also give you this top section that will say, in this case, oh, this is painful. It's going to say design, pass, deploy, pass, overall result, fail. I remember the first time I encountered this style of grading, they did something similar in the previous exam where it had there was 3 sections and it was like troubleshooting something and then the config section. So anyways, long story short, I was at Cisco Live and this guy recognizes me and he comes running up to me and he's like, Anthony, you don't know me, but blah, blah, blah. And, I can't believe I ran into you. Wait till you see this. He pulls out his score report, unfolds it at Cisco Live. It was at the Maroon 5 concert, I think. And anyways, pulls out his score report and he's like, can you effing believe this? I mean, he was so mad. And I look at his score report and it's pass, 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 all 3 modules, and then result, fail. And he was just, couldn't even believe it. And I must admit, it was the first time I saw this grading style. So I was looking at his score report like, dude, you need to like talk to Cisco because something's wrong here. But of course, now we know exactly how that scenario can take place. So what about lab exam grading? How is your lab exam graded? And another aspect to this question, of course, is why do we care? Well, we care how the lab exam is graded because we can use that to assist us in our strategies. And I'm going to go into this in great detail with you, of course, but just understand that when you know how it's graded, that's going to help give you kind of intuition about strategies that you can develop. And the thing about the lab exam grading is it's script graded. Yeah, it is script graded. So an interesting thing comes up about this. Let's say you're in the lab exam and you do your design module and your deploy module, and you're like, wow, I think that went really well. You will most likely have an email waiting for you by the time you get back to the hotel. And it will say, congratulations, here's your CCIE number. You see, what's happened is the grading script has come in and done the grading. It's obviously super easy in the first module. It's, you know, like just grading more of a standard written exam from Cisco, easy peasy there. The grading engine for the deployment, much more sophisticated because it's going to have logic in there that allows, you know, maybe some flexibility in the config and stuff like that. But this grading script ran against your modules and you did great, and it just spits out your CCIE number. So your email's waiting for you almost right away. If you go through this lab and you're like, oh my gosh, I got crushed. Like that was way harder than I expected. I did not do well. Same deal, right? The grading script's going to go through and it's going to be like, wow, this person didn't even come close to the min cut scores in each module, and boom, it's going to spit out your score report. Where it gets really nail-biting, nerve-wracking, is when your email from Cisco is not showing up and you feel like, wow, I did pretty good. You know what's happening? Most likely, you passed your you passed your design module. And then when it comes to the deploy module, you were really close. And now what's happening is the proctors are going in with their human eyes and human minds, and they are going through your config and they're trying to get you points to pass you. Yeah, it's really cool. So they're going to like make sure the grading script didn't, you know, punish you when you actually came up with a way to solve it, let's say, that they didn't even think of, right? So it's really cool, but it can lead to a very stressful deal, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, I think I might have passed that. And then your email's taking a long time and you know they're looking at it. And yeah, just, you know, hopefully you did it. So very interesting, this script grading. And as I said, in upcoming videos, we're going to talk about how we can take that knowledge and really how it's going to help us arrive at the correct configurations. And I know you may be like, what? How is that magic going to go down? But just trust me on it. I've been teaching this stuff for a long, long time. All right, so yeah, that'll do it. Quick video on the grading. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, there's comments areas, almost like a blog in the IEprep.com site where, you know, you can comment on this video. And don't forget about the great community. It's not being utilized heavily, and come on, let's go. Get over into the community and post your questions. We're standing by to answer. I say we because it's me and other CCIEs that are in IEprep.com waiting to help you. All right, until next time, hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you soon.